January 18, 2026. Sicily, Italy. A powerful Mediterranean storm hit southern Italy. 9-meter waves forced the evacuation of hundreds and a red alert was issued. On the evening of January 20, 2026, a powerful Mediterranean storm, known as Cyclone Harry, hit large parts of southern Italy, bringing strong winds, torrential rain, and waves up to 10 meters high, battering the coasts of Sicily, Sardinia, and Calabria. The dangerous weather system caused a sudden rise in sea levels and inundated coastal areas. As the situation worsened, local authorities issued a red alert, ordering the emergency evacuation of hundreds of residents in high-risk areas, and schools, parks, and coastal paths were closed. Sea traffic was also halted and flights at some southern airports were cancelled or delayed. Meteorological authorities stressed that the event was not a tsunami, but the direct result of a very strong Mediterranean cyclone and a dangerous storm surge. The powerful storm swept across large parts of southern Italy, directly affecting several regions. Sicily was one of the most vulnerable areas, where high waves crashed onto the coast and flooding was reported in coastal areas. In the eastern and northeastern parts of the island of Sardinia, heavy rainfall caused rivers to overflow and forced emergency evacuations. In the Calabria region, located south of the Italian mainland, coastal towns faced dangerously high seas, landslides, and road closures. In addition, some coastal areas of southern Italy along the Torrentian and Ionian seas were also affected by destructive winds, disruption to maritime transport,
and push seawater into urban streets.
This powerful Mediterranean cyclone with a complex structure and very high energy entered southern Italy and created a series of dangerous atmospheric phenomena simultaneously. The cyclone was such that the air pressure suddenly decreased, which caused the acceleration of wind currents and severe atmospheric instability, so that the wind speed in some areas reached more than 120 to 130 kilometers per hour. The moist air masses that had entered this system from the southern latitudes, when they encountered colder air, caused prolonged and very heavy rainfall. The rainfall in some areas reached more than 220 millimeters, and in some places, in a short period of time, a huge volume of water fell on the ground. At sea, the energy transferred from the strong winds caused complete turbulence of the water surface and the formation of huge waves that hit the open coasts with very high waves, about 9 to 18 meters. At the same time, the sustained pressure of the wind on the sea surface and the decrease in the central pressure of the cyclone caused water to be pushed towards the coast and an abnormal rise in the water level. A phenomenon that exposed low-lying coastal areas to water intrusion and widespread destruction. All these factors together indicate that this storm was not just a simple precipitation system, but a very severe weather event with several simultaneous destructive components that significantly increased the amount of damage. During the passage of this powerful storm, extensive and diverse damage was seen in the affected areas, the extent of which was not limited to one part. The intrusion of seawater into coastal neighborhoods caused homes, shops, and tourist facilities to be flooded. And in some places, coastal infrastructure was completely destroyed. Heavy and continuous rainfall paralyzed the road network. Main and secondary roads were submerged, and landslides in mountainous areas cut off communication between several towns and villages. On the other hand, the strong winds caused trees to fall, roofs to collapse, and serious damage to power and telecommunications lines, leaving thousands of people facing temporary power outages. Port and shipping activities were suspended, and damage was caused to boats and port equipment. Agricultural lands were also damaged by flooding and saltwater intrusion, and seasonal crops were destroyed in some areas. The total damage showed that the storm not only disrupted daily life, but also placed a heavy strain on infrastructure, the local economy, and the security of residents in southern Italy. The event showed that Mediterranean storms are no longer a casual occurrence, but a real threat to coastal areas. Authorities remain on high alert, and citizens are urged to take safety warnings seriously.